I figure the best way to show this and talk about this is do it live. I'm going to start up a Rumble game, and what we're going to talk about is Shayura's Wrath. Before I really get into it, I must say, as a nerdy player that loves getting in depth in weapons, I do love this at the core. It is incredibly cool, but with what they have now, Bungie do not do this. It has to be changed. They've been talking about experimenting with weapon sights and scope, and with Shayura's Wrath this season, right now, you can go and try it. It now has an aim down sights reticle that reacts to the weapon's accuracy and auto-aim state. It also ties in the red reticle, meaning that when you're over a target, it's going to turn red. When they're out of range, the red's going to go away. You're going to see, this is cool, yeah, but it's an absolute issue. Now, what I want to show you, and during the live gameplay, I'm going to go down because I'm going to be talking most of the time, and we're going to get in some duels. But, I have a couple of Shayura's Wrath. We have Dynamic Sway, we got Heating Up, we got Killing Wind, Perpetual Motion, Tap the Trigger. Really cool. And we're also going to see what happens when you put on Targeting, how that changes how our weapons feel. So, what you need to consider here is the implementation of this game-wide. Auto rifles, your sidearms. In theory, like shotguns should. It should show the tightening of all those cones and how it's going to interact when you shoot, things like that. But pulse rifles, everything. So in your mind, as you're watching this, think about all of your weapons looking like this. So we started our game, and there's a couple things I want to go over. First, Dynamic Sway. As you fire, it gets more accurate, more stable. First of all, look at this thing. Look at Dynamic Sway working. We got into our first duel. We won. But the issue with this thing is tracking. It is so difficult. Like, look at it turn red. Good shots, good shots. But even with Dynamic Sway really actually helping it, because it's getting really smaller, or I should say much more small, you can track a little bit better, but it's so difficult. Oh, Shadebinder. So good. Much wow. You know me? Maybe I should have just grabbed that. So in a second here, I'm going to switch perks. But as you get, like, I think it's so hard to duel with. And that's with it getting smaller because of dynamics. I'm trying to find a space where it's just me. There we go. So look at that outside reticle. And look at triple targeting. Much wow. Much wow. What's this gentleman doing? All right, so let's go to Heating Up. This is a max range, 100 range kill clip Heating Up. So in theory, after I get a final blow, it gets smaller and the perk goes away. It should kind of move. Yep, look at that. Don't think I'm gonna get the down on that person. Shut the enemy down. All right, I started up another one, and we're gonna do Killing Wind, and I took off all targeting, so you should definitely see what's happening with the cones and how they're staying and how they're going away. Of course, it's Midtown with Shayura's Wrath. Okay. At least we got other SMGs. All right, so there's Killing Wind. In theory, that should widen. Yep, a little bit. You think you got the cheese. But the worst part about this, like, that's, I mean, I don't know. What they need to do, what they need to do is that you see how the hip fire reticle, the little inside is very thin, and when you actually aim out sights, it's super opaque. That needs to go away. Good try. You have another one. You're gonna come around the corner. I'm just gonna freeze you. Sometimes that's what it'd be like. All right, we got another. So let's actually switch to Perpetual Motion. Tap the trigger. Guess I deserve that. we can kind of see perpetual motion ×2 and watch it go away. He's got a beat on me. He's got that GL. Not really. All right, last thing I want to do. Okay. Oh, it's so bad to deal with. Last thing I want to do is try to get to heating up ×2, which we just did. Look at that actually cone tighten up. Then it's gone. So, like, yes, the information is super cool. I love it. Oof. But it's entirely too opaque. Period. Needs to change. Because you have to think here, and what I want you to think about is this is going to be happening to all of your weapons. You didn't like that. Your pulse rifles, your scouts, every single one of them. Now, on some of them, it's going to be good. Like, if it were to stay like this, I would be okay with a fusion rifle having this. But in the current state, just very few weapons it would be okay on. Oh, tracks opposed to in-air. No bueno. Oh. Can you make it? Can you make it? Usually in Rumble, I don't use a super. The one I just down is going to be to my right. Then we go the other way. Off the scene. But you know what? I might have to do this.
5 minutes remaining.
Sorry. Can't be getting Arc Strider, dude. I highly encourage you to try this though. It's a little bit, it's different, dude. And I'm gonna say, as someone who adores all the inner workings of weapons, this is too much. Like, this cannot happen. More so, it should be extremely thin, and you should be able to see through it. It shouldn't be opaque. But all you have to do is play with it. Tell me what you think. And if you don't have a Shayura's Wrath, can you imagine some of your favorite weapons, like hand cannons and scouts and pulses, SMGs, all having that? I can't. So it's very important that you kind of speak up on it now, because if nobody speaks up, it's what could get implemented game-wide. And this is something I can guarantee you don't want in its current state. So let's talk about it down below. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.